Thanks, Andre, for joining us today. Andre Prink is the CTO for Hippo Insurance. And maybe just if you can just give a 1 second background on what Hippo is, Andre.
Sure. So Hippo is South Africa's largest comparison website. We compare a range of products from car insurance to medical aid, life insurance, and also personal loans, as well as some travel products.
Thanks. And I think so. The point is about this paper is to really investigate the challenges faced by organizations during COVID-19, especially from a technology perspective. And I think one of the things I want to ask you is that from a Hippo perspective, what was the major things that during COVID-19 last year that you had to adapt to very quickly?
Sure. So I think from a website point of view, that was all pretty smooth. Our biggest challenge probably was around our call center and mobilizing 150 odd agents. That's pretty much never worked from home. So it was really a struggle in getting those agents kind of all routers, so they don't have internet access at home. So getting them all the routers and getting them all the VPN access. And really the systems that they need to work from home. I think that was probably our biggest challenge within the whole COVID situation.
Gardner and a few other articles mentioned that the two largest projects globally or tasks last year was around automation and around remote working. Would you agree with that based on what you mentioned now from a call center perspective?
Yeah, definitely. So I think we realized that from an automation point of view, definitely the more stuff we can kind of take human intervention out, the better. And like I said, on the kind of mobilizing people to work from home, that was really a big challenge for us.
And on that working from home, what specifically was the challenges around it, like the everyday real challenges?
So like I said, kind of getting the agents all set up and giving them routers. We in an environment, especially in the call center, where working from home wasn't like something that was really ever done in the past. So some of these agents don't all have proper internet access at home. So we had to go out and source 150 odd routers. So that was really the biggest one.
And now looking forward into the future for this year, and are you looking at changing the way that operated with that digital transformation that you've added in, or what are you looking to do from with the infrastructure that you've already created now? Are you going to adapt and change that going forward? I mean, are you bringing that call center agents back, or what's your thoughts around that?
So we'll probably be adapting a bit of a hybrid model. So some agents would be coming back to the office or are back at the office. Just the ones that basically still struggle with things like load shedding and that we obviously can't cater for. But predominantly, we still have majority of our agents working from home, and that's really a model that's working for us.
I want to shift a little bit. So one of the things pointed out by research papers is that IT will drive the recovery past COVID-19 in the industry, and that businesses will rely quite a bit on the fact of this new IT platforms with it, and it's these newfound digital transformation portions with it. But one of the challenges they point out is this misalignment between business and business skills to really understand and define problems, and then the IT capability with it. It's been traditionally a problem in businesses, that misalignment. What's your thoughts around that?
So I think luckily in the Hippo business, we don't really have that misalignment. We quite a tight operation. So I think that's not really been much of a challenge for us. I think we're well aligned in terms of priorities, and definitely IT is quite a big part of those priorities. So yeah.
And would you, and I mean, working with you over this last more than a year already, I definitely agree with that portion that you're one of the few businesses that where business and IT's capability is so closely aligned with it. Um, do you think it's because IT is so pivotal to this point? I mean, you're a small team also, but what would be a fundamental difference between how Hippo operates and a much larger organization that you better aligned in that kind of way?
So I think the reason probably that Hippo is better off in that way is because we realize that Hippo is kind of a platform. So because Hippo is a platform, we realize the importance of IT and having all of these stuff in place. So we essentially, if the website is down, we don't have a business. If the call center is down, for example, we don't have a business. So I think the realization of that is really what makes it such a critical part of it.
And future plans and technology, how do you introduce it? Um, does it come from the IT perspective, or does it come from a business perspective? How do you make sure that that capability from an IT perspective is aligned?
So I think it's a bit of a mix of both. So business would kind of have its own requirements in a way, and from an IT perspective, we support that. But from IT perspective, we would also make recommendations in terms of what would take us to be the business of the future, and obviously, business would then support that as well.
And one of the things they've also pointed out, I think, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is the lack. One of the things that COVID-19 has highlighted is, in some instances, businesses that business doesn't have enough digital expertise around it. Things like LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, and so forth, with it, that there's not enough deep-rooted knowledge around that digital portion in the business. Towards the finance side also with it, so not the day-to-day kind of operations with it. Have you found the same kind of thing with in Hippo? And if yes, are you looking at internal training courses around that, or methods of addressing that?
Yeah, I think we've definitely found the same thing. I think it is quite a skill in itself, and it is quite something to get used to. So I think we've been on a journey where we kind of are introducing that as part of our day-to-day thinking and tasks, and onboarding of staff. We also look at those type of skills in particular. So that's really a core focus for us going forward as well. So it's definitely something that we want to keep on focusing on.
And from a finance perspective, like accountancy perspective or actuary perspective and so forth, are they also connected to the business? Do they understand the digital language that the business requires now, or is there a gap somewhere in that portion?
Yeah, I think there's still probably a bit of work to do in getting that closer. But like I say, we've been on a journey to kind of bring those together, but not quite there yet.
No, thanks for that. And then maybe just a last question from my side on, so Gartner says that about 65% of financial organizations will look at spending now more on the cloud, APIs and microservices. Now, you guys have been traditionally quite, like most South African organizations, invest in their own technology and so forth with it. And your opinion on that?
Yeah, so I think we've actually just before COVID started, we started to kind of adapt the whole methodology around cloud-based technologies and getting that in. And really, I think COVID has shown us that is really something that we need to move towards. Luckily, like I said in the beginning, our call center systems that had to be like mobilized are all kind of cloud-based already. But I think that it really showed us that there's a need for us to get everything kind of into the cloud and more accessible from remote locations.
And maybe just then to end off with your priorities for this next year, top of mind from a technology perspective. Um, if you have to put that in order, the top three things maybe.
Sure. So what we really want to do is we want to focus on UX on our car insurance journey. So we've seen that with COVID, really the needs of the client have changed a bit. So looking more for work from home type products, much more price sensitive. So we really want to change our designs to kind of cater for that. And then from a call center perspective, we're redoing the whole kind of call center solution, front end and back end, and that also includes moving to the cloud. So that's really our main focus areas.
Thanks, Andre. I really appreciate it.